Wade and Wade reacts.
We got a subscriber request to check out a Gundam video from Kakarot197, so let's get into it.
The mobile suits of the Titans test team from Advance of Zeta have caused no small amount of confusion over the years, because there's just so many of them out there. And the same goes for their emblems, with a question that I've seen appearing quite a few times being, which emblem belongs to which machine? And to solve this problem, Dengeki Hobby has recently put out a list that not just shows us which emblem belongs to which machine, but also gives us an explanation of what the emblem represents and what the symbolism behind it is. So, let's start at the beginning. One thing that might surprise you is that this squadron, using all of these rabbit-themed emblems on their rabbit-named mobile suits, isn't actually named after a rabbit itself. They're called the Black Otter Team, and their operator actually hates animals, including cute little bunny rabbits, which then caused problems with their leader, Wes Murphy, because he didn't just love rabbits, he actually had a rabbit. And this isn't also why all of their mobile suits were named after rabbits from Watership Down. As for the emblems, these were all designed by Carl Matsubara, one of the main pilots of the Black Otters, and usually assigned to sniper or other long-range mobile suits. The first emblem he designed was a rather basic rabbit, which was jumping in front of a shield. This represented that they operated both in space and
Doesn't really look like a
ground,
rabbit.
and it was
Nah, it
also
doesn't. Looks like a
metaphor
Digimon to me.
for them being an experimental unit, with rabbits, of course,
Or a
famously
spawn
being
of
used
Mewtwo.
as test animals. This
Yeah, I was
emblem
thinking
would be
something
used
like a
on
Pokemon.
Elliot Hunter's helmet, as well as Carl's own Gym Sniper 3, and it would later on also be carried over to the Woundwort. Beginning with the Hazels then, we first get this rabbit wearing a flight cap and goggles. These represent the extra armor and other equipment donned by the Gundam TR-1 Hazel, and the emblem was painted on the back skirt. Later on, this mobile suit would be outfitted with the Furudu optional parts, which would then get their own emblem as well. Two rabbit heads arranged in a kind of yin-yang symbol,
Yeah, they don't look like
representing
rabbits.
how the two units were working together to show their true power. And this true power was the Hazel Raw. And this emblem would also be carried over to the Furudu 2. But the regular Hazel wasn't the only unit that the Titans test team were using. This bunny girl, with her large ears representing two shield boosters, was originally designed for the Garibaldi Beta High Mobility type. But this unit would be lost when its pilot decided to defect to the Ayuk, taking the Beta with him, so instead, this emblem would be used for the Hazel 2. This unit was previously known as the Hazel Reserve Unit and was supposed to be just a parts machine, but with the loss of the beta, it would be pushed into active service and would later on then be upgraded to the Advanced Hazel, which would get its own dedicated emblem. It's a purple demon rabbit with white accents to show how the machines of the Titans test team were kinda like transitioning from their white test colors to their darker combat colors. The white bandage around its ear then symbolizes the enhanced shield booster, which was painted entirely in white. And later on, this symbol would also be used by other machines that got an upgraded advanced form. Also, it is speculated that this design was made to pair nicely with the emblem used by the Gaplant TR-5 Rairu and Fiver. Instead of a demonic rabbit, they got an angelic rabbit with large wings and a spear piercing a carrot.
Just bleeding.
Since the Gaplant was a machine designed for high-altitude interception, it was kinda meant to invoke the image of an angel descending from the sky, invoking divine retribution upon its enemies. And this emblem would then also be carried over to its successor units, the Rairu 2 and the
Some of
Fiver
these don't
2.
even look like rabbits.
Back to the Hazels then, with the Hazel Owsla. Its emblem features
that's
a
more
rabbit
similar to a
sitting on
rabbit
top of
right
a
there.
white box wrapped in a red ribbon. This emblem was added to the missile pod on its left shoulder to commemorate its rollout, and it was combined with an infinity symbol on the front skirt armor to kinda symbolize the infinite expandability of the Hazels that we are all so familiar with. So who knows what kind of goodies are hidden inside of that box. One of them was the gigantic arm unit. And rather than a lively rabbit, the rabbit on this emblem is represented as the undead Jiangxi from Chinese folklore. This was done to show how the, by then outdated Hazel, was kept alive through add-on parts.
Okay, then.
The gigantic
They're doing
arm
a lot with
unit
the
is
symbolism
represented
here.
by ear-like appendages hanging from its hat, and the winch units are represented by these spirits floating next to it. This emblem would then most likely be carried over to the Wound Ward Psycho Gigantic Arms unit. And the final Tier 1 unit discussed in these documents is the Gundam TR-1 Haze'n-thley, a heavily modified Hazel that is represented by a knightly rabbit wearing a helmet. Its eyes are looking dead ahead at the future, and its ears have become powerful wings, ready to take off towards that future. This
Rabbit
emblem
done
would
turned
then
into a
also be
bird,
carried
huh?
over to the Haze'n-thley too. For something completely different then, we have the Bi-Zack TR2 Bigwig. This was
we've seen this
basically a
before.
giant beam cannon,
I think we have,
where
too.
the Haze'thley simply served as a
You said you
control
think we
unit.
have seen it before?
The rabbit is
Yeah.
wearing a helmet representing
I don't
the
remember seeing
Haze'thley,
this.
and it's got a Lanchester
Is that a weapon?
submachine gun to
Nah, it's
represent
a-
the Bigwig.
It's a weapon and
It's
a mobile
painted
suit.
on the shield of the Haze'thley and on the rear
like a
armor of the
platform.
Bigwig, and later
Okay, then I
on,
thought it was a rifle.
it would also be used on the Bigwig Cannon 2, used by the Wound Ward 5 or 2. Going
Oh,
up
so
a
those are
number,
mobile armors
we
then,
get to
right?
the prototype Asshimar TR3 Kahar,
Nah, I don't think
which
so.
featured a gray rabbit hitching a ride on a purple UFO with a beak and wings. One thing that set the prototype Asshimar apart from the production version was that it was meant to operate as a sub-flight system. So the UFO represents the Kahar, and the rabbit represents the mobile suit riding on the Kahar. This emblem would also be carried over to the Wound Ward Kahar 2, and the prototype Asshimar Space version would use a similar version
ever go
of the
into
emblem,
production?
but this UFO
That's a
didn't
good
have
question.
a beak or
I would like to
wings.
see Asshimar in space.
Next up, we have the Rosette TR4 Dandelion, and
Got a rabbit cooking in a pan.
did their operator
What the
design
heck?
this thing? Because we have a rabbit being roasted in a pan, and it's even showing the rib cage of the poor thing. The frying pan represents the dandelion in its atmospheric reentry form, and the flames represent the high temperatures that it would have to survive during atmospheric reentry. The state of the rabbit, though, would not fill me with confidence on how safe this was for the pilot. But hey, they are an experimental unit, and I've heard that rabbit with prunes is really good. This emblem would later on also be used by the Gundam TR6 Wound Ward Dandelion 2. And since we already tackled the TR5's emblem earlier on in the video, we're staying with the Wound Ward and its remaining variants, like the Queenly, a super heavy base defense unit whose weapon containers resemble the crown of a queen, hence its name, Queenly. And this design feature was then also represented in its emblem. The rabbit is drawn as a queen, crown included, and its hair/ears supposedly represent the iconic weapon containers. But as fearsome as it was, the Titans had an even more deadly mobile suit, the Gundam TR6 Wound Ward Inlay.
That logo is
This
crazy.
machine would get a striking golden rabbit with hawk-like wings that made it resemble the emblem of the Titans. Perfect for a machine that was planned to be their ultimate weapon. And finally then, we have the Gundam TRS Hazel Rare, a machine that was
What can
planned
that
to be
do?
the end result
that's a
of the
crazy
TR
looking machine.
project. So at the time that Carl was designing the emblem, the machine wasn't actually finalized yet, as symbolized by its shadowy jet black body, which was then outfitted in armor and weapons reminiscent of a crusader. the article doesn't say this, but I wouldn't be surprised if this was kinda meant to symbolize their crusade against anyone who was against the Federation. And those were all of the main Titans test team emblems, their meaning, and the mobile suits they were used on.
The only thing I can say I learned from this video is that the Titans really like rabbits. I see this test team put it on a lot of the suits. What was that last suit though that we saw? Whatever that was, that looked like something experimental. I'm pretty sure the Titans did not put it on the field because I don't remember seeing that in Zeta. But whatever it was, I'm pretty sure it has a lot of firepower, man. Somebody let us know what that was in the comments.
Yeah, for sure. Give us that information. I was more interested in some of the mobile armors and mobile suits from the Titans that I haven't seen before. The emblems were pretty cool too. It was fun to see the different rabbit designs that they came up with. And like you said, you could tell that the captain, I think his name was Wes Morgan, really loved rabbits. I bet those who did not like animals, period, were like, man, why do we have to keep getting rabbits on these new and improved mobile suits? Man, take the rabbits off. But they kept going. And some of the rabbits didn't even look like rabbits. But the mobile suits were definitely cool. The Titans did a lot of good work in a short period of time. That does it for our reaction to this subscriber request. Don't forget to leave your thoughts in the comment section. Also like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so that you'll never miss a video from Wade and Wade Reacts.
And we're out of here.
Peace.